Relationship Realities with Reyna
and Chriselle.
So welcome back, everybody. We are here with my best friend visiting from California. And so we're doing a special 4-part series, 4-part episode. And typically you hear Roland and I talking about relationships, but this time I wanted to kind of bring you guys into the interesting conversations that I have with my best friend. And the last 2 episodes, the first episode we gave you an intro. You guys have been listening to me talk for the last 20 episodes, so you have a really good idea of who I am. The first episode of this series, though, I wanted to introduce you to her and to see where she's coming from. And the last episode, we discussed long-term relationships, toxic relationships, the amount of time to heal from those toxic relationships, red flags, and a bunch of other good stuff. This episode...
Dun, dun, dun.
Right? So Roland and I had discussed this topic before, and we talked about if you knew that your friend was being cheated on, would you say anything? So obviously Roland and I had our opinions, but I wanted to have the same discussion with my best friend. Because it's a little bit different when you're discussing it amongst friends as opposed to, your significant other. So I'm going to pose that question. If you knew that Roland was cheating on me, would you tell me?
Yes.
Bam.
And show you pictures.
Bam.
And show you, yes. But
I'm going to end up, it's going to be on Cheaters, y'all. On the TV rolling up, the van's going to
pretty much.
Right.
But it would depend on which friend.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It depends on that relationship.
Disclaimer, Roland is not cheating on me, folks. Definitely not.
Because if he was, then she'd already have the pictures and this would be a whole different discussion.
Exactly. I'd probably be in jail. But anyway.
Great. Now I got to post bail money. Fantastic.
But I think you're right. I think that it has a lot to do with the friendship itself.
Yes.
So let me ask you then, have you ever known of other acquaintances or friends, like their significant others cheating on them? Have you been in this situation before?
Yes.
Like, oh snap. How did you, tell me, walk me through it.
When I was actually online dating, I found, not just one, but a couple of guys on there that were married.
Oh.
That were in long-term relationships with somebody else. Yeah. One that had just had a baby.
Dang.
Yeah. Harsh.
Did you say anything?
Due to certain circumstances on the girl's side, no, I did not. And it's on some of those, it wasn't that the relationship was not like yours and I's.
Mm-hmm.
Yours and I's.
Right? Lots of eyes.
Wow.
Eyes everywhere. Eyeballs.
Wasn't quite, it was not a different dynamic. It was a good dynamic, but there were other things that were going on in their life that they did not need that extra, their man is a jerk thrown on top of.
Do you think that see, that's hard. That's rough because it's one of those things I would want to know.
I would too.
And especially if someone sent me screenshots or if someone showed me pictures of them online or even said, hey, you need to go to this social site or whatever to catch them. I would want to know. Yeah,
absolutely.
And then on the flip side, a conversation that I had at work, one of my coworkers had said that she would not want to know because ignorance is bliss. They've been married for a pretty significant amount of time. And her thing is she's in a comfortable relationship. Okay. They've been together for so long. As long as she doesn't know, she doesn't care.
Probably because she's heard about all of the horrors of dating now and she's like, I'm good.
Right?
I'm not even mad at her about it.
I was taking a nap. I didn't need to be bothered anyways.
Let him go do what he needs to do. As long as he comes home, does what he needs to, we're good.
Yeah, and honestly, that's what she said. As long as he's safe and doesn't bring anything home, that she was good with it.
I can understand her stance. That wouldn't work with me, but
right.
I guess.
Yeah, and that was kind of what I told her. I was like, okay, I can understand where you're coming from. It's a little bit different. The lifestyle is a little bit different, I guess, than what I'm used to. But I can understand where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
She has also been with her significant other. I believe maybe only had a couple of other kind of dating relationships. Mm-hmm. So this is like her forever. I think maybe the mentality we have is a little bit different because
Barney never went ahead and got through to us. Sharing is not caring when it comes to that.
Definitely not. I do not share.
No, me neither.
I'm an only child and I don't share.
I'm not an only child. I still don't share. Not doing it. Nope.
I don't know. I think it kind of goes back to what we had discussed in one of the other episodes where you have the options. Like guys have the options. Well, you know what? Guess what? So do we.
Pretty much.
And I am all about putting in the work to make the relationship work. Make it work. Put in work to make it work. You know, but I'm going to be happy.
Yes.
If I am not happy, or if this is not somebody that we can grow together, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to be one of those people that spends 50 years with somebody and is miserable.
Nope.
49 and a half of those years. I'm not going to do it.
I have cut off short-term relationships because I didn't see it progressing. I don't want to say progressing the way I wanted because that just sounds bad. But yeah, pretty much that's it. If it's not going, I don't see us being happy. I don't see rainbows and flowers at the end of it.
Unicorns, hello.
Exactly, llamas. Mm-hmm. If I don't see all of that, I don't want to waste your time. Don't waste my time. Let's just keep it moving. But to spend 20 years with someone, and I don't know how anyone could have that thought of their significant other with someone else while you're at home.
Yeah, no. That, like, just thinking about that.
My stomach is turning.
Blind rage, guys.
Yes.
Like, I'm looking at Roland right now, guys. He's sitting across the room, and I'm just, like, enraged.
I'm holding her back.
Thinking of some other woman. Like, there is no way in hell that I would be okay with that situation.
Right? No, I could not. Not.
I'm like,
Change subject.
Right?
Subject.
So I've been in that situation before where I knew the person was being cheated on. So I've been in that situation a couple of times. And it really does depend on the dynamic, because in one situation, I thought we were closer than we really were. I showed her the information, and it drove our friendship apart. And she ultimately stayed with that guy, and he ended up cheating on her again later on down the road. But unfortunately, our friendship had already been severed at the point when it was first, brought to her attention. And even though I was right, and even though he ended up doing it again, we never really talked ever again after that. So it's kind of crappy because it wasn't my fault. It had nothing to do with me. I wasn't the one that was sleeping with her man. But she turned her anger on me instead of where it belonged, on him, which wasn't fair. But, it is what it is.
That happens. And actually, I had, with my first long-term relationship, I actually it was one of my friends who brought it to me that he was doing that. I am still extremely good friends with her. I know she's a ride or die, because why else would she have brought that to me?
Right.
And it was her thinking was the same. If it were happening to her, she wanted to know.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, I'm bringing it to you. Here's the proof. Do with it what you will.
I think a lot of it has to do with the female that the information is being brought to.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I would want to know.
Yeah.
And I am comfortable enough with myself that if I had to end the relationship, I know where the anger is going. It's going to him because he's the one that did this to the relationship. Not the friend that brought it to my attention, not to any other place, but to him.
Right.
So I think that has a lot to do with it. Whereas sometimes you have females that are a little bit more needy or not as emotionally strong, that are very dependent on their man
Mm-hmm.
and can't stand on their own 2 feet. So
There's women like that?
OMG.
That's not going on over here.
That's definitely not going on over here.
No.
And they can't stand on their own 2 feet without him. And they get mad when it's brought to their attention because the person that brought it to their attention now has fractured
their pretty little image.
Exactly. It has brought this ugliness to the surface that they, I'm sure, already knew was there.
Yep.
And turned a blind eye to it in order to maintain that false reality. Right.
Yes.
Exactly. And then there was another situation, and I think I discussed this in the episode with Roland, but I had some misgivings about your relationship with your recent significant other. And our relationship, mine and your relationship, is different in that we are both very strong females, but we know each other so well that I knew that I could tell you what I needed to tell you without you being mad at me about it. But
Right.
you knew that I wouldn't continue to harp on that.
Right.
I said my piece. It was what it was. And we
we're
kept it
done with
moving.
Done with it. Let's go. Oh, we're going for coffee after this? All right, cool.
Right. And you know, when things started to happen, I had my one, I told you so. And then that was it. We kept it moving. I had my one, and that was it.
No, you had your one, I told you so, and then, oh, there's my friend again. Let's go. You're better. Let's go.
Because that's, you know, and I think we, even in the early years of our friendship, just to give you guys a recap, we have been best friends for 25 years now. Because that's how old Antonio is.
Yeah.
Dang. Right? I
I
know. Oh my God. All right. Now I'm over. Oh my God. I'm so old right now.
Give her a moment, please.
Oh my God. So, you know, even in the early parts of our friendship, we've always been that way. So I think time definitely makes it stronger. But I think it's one of those things where in your friendship, you either have it or you don't. There's some people that claim that they've been friends for several years, but will stab each other in the back so quickly that it's insane. You know, friends in air quotes, that will sleep with their friends' significant others or whatever.
I wish them.
Right?
Oh
right?
my God. Ooh, that sent chills and
that to me is
horrible.
like the ultimate betrayal.
Yes.
The ultimate. I would be mad at him, but I would be more mad at her.
I would be furious with both.
Because
I trusted you,
exactly.
But I trusted you too. Like, you're losing two, because now I got to cut you both off. If I don't cut you first,
I would be more mad about her because that's, to me, that's like the ultimate betrayal.
Because of how our female relationships are. Because for you and I, it's those very few females that we allow to get that close to us, we really, really trust.
Yeah.
I could leave you alone with my dude. Whatever. Have fun.
Yeah,
I know you guys aren't doing anything.
No. You should see my face right now. It's like, nah.
Yeah, nah.
No. That. You don't, it's, guys have that stupid saying, bros before hoes. Anyways. But they'll be the first one to go after their boys.
Proven. Oh my God, proven. And it's horrible.
Yeah, absolutely. You do have women that do stuff like that. And I've heard of it in families where like sisters or cousins or like nasty. Like
Dirty.
you're a nasty hoe. Ugh. Nasty. But you don't expect that from your girlfriends because it's one of those like your girlfriend, your best friend knows how vulnerable you are. She knows the kind of crap you've been through.
Yep.
And then for her to turn around and do that, like, oh no.
Yeah. That would be that would really break my heart. That would be hard.
Mm-hmm. Man, I'd need a damn vacation away from that.
Forget a vacation. I'd need a vacation in a straight jacket. Just come and see me once a week. I don't know. That would hurt. That would really hurt.
Okay, so what we've been able to deduce in this episode, guys, is don't be a hoe, number one. What? Okay, no, but seriously. So the things that we talked about in this episode really is I think that you need to have a serious, like legitimate conversation with your girlfriends. And you really need to take a look at your friendships. And if your friend, treat your friendship like you would your dating relationship. If there are red flags there in your friendship, you probably need to take another look at your friendship. If things that you only tell your best friend or your friend are all of a sudden getting told around and other people know about it, that's a red flag. That's probably not somebody that you want to trust. And sometimes it's those small, seemingly insignificant things that will be breadcrumbs to those bigger things. So if you can't trust somebody to keep a secret, how are you going to trust them around your man? I'm just saying. Again, in previous episodes, Roland and I had discussed, if you knew your friend was cheating or if your friend was being cheated on, would you say anything? And that was an interesting perspective because it was from, a couple's perspective and from a guy's perspective. And this episode, talking with my best friend and hearing it from her perspective about would you say anything, would you not say anything? And really the consensus comes down to judging your friendship. And that really is the determining factor if you would say something or not, because you don't know how that other person is going to react. And unfortunately, 90% of the time, they're going to stay with their man and more than likely not be friends with you anymore. But if it's a real ride or die, then it is what it is. And you've got to say your piece and then keep it moving. But you can't harp on it. No. You tell them what you got to tell them, and then it is what it is. They do with it what they do with it, and
you're either going to be there for the heartbreak or the uprise, whatever the case may be.
Yep. So it's one of those things where you've got to look at it yourself and figure out how you are going to deal with it as well. If the person decides to stay with them, if your friend decides to stay with their man or whatever, can you deal with that? If you can't, then maybe you should keep your mouth shut. But so this episode, pretty informational. Next episode is also going to be a good one. And next episode will be the last episode of our special 4-part series here with my sister, my wonderful sister visiting me. So definitely stick around, and we look forward to hearing your comments. Definitely leave your feedback. We love hearing from you. And until next time, guys, see you later.
Bye.